Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. We gotta talk about it. As you guys know, the Lakers played their first preseason game yesterday against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Going into that game, I was unsure, or rather unclear, of who was going to be playing in that game. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to it. And as a matter of fact, I didn't even watch the game because it's a preseason game, right? But yesterday's game had some, particular interest in it because why? It was the first time we got a chance to see Bronny James play in an actual NBA basketball game. Although it was a preseason game, nevertheless, it was a basketball game. And I actually found out about it on Bleacher Report when I opened up my phone this morning. So I wasn't even aware of it. Then I quickly found out that Anthony Davis didn't play. I found out that Lebron James didn't play or anything like that, right? So I opened up my phone and I see like a clip. It says Bronny James chase down block, and they show this kind of sequence, right? And I'm like, oh, some must have balled out, right? He must have definitely balled out. But then I went to the box score to see, okay, well, so what actually happened in the game? So I went to the box score and I looked at the game for the Lakers, and they had one starter play. No, I think two. Rui Hachimura played. Austin Reeves played. D'Angelo Russell played. Okay, so they had three starters playing that game. So I immediately went to Bronny James. Why did I go to Bronny James? Because that's what Bleacher Report, ESPN, all of these major sports media companies, this is what they were posting about. And I went to go look at his box score, given the fact that they were posting him all over the internet. And what I saw, I actually couldn't believe that was his stat line, but they were posting all of it. So let's get into Bronny's stats, okay? Bronny played 16 minutes in that game. He went 1 of 6 from the floor. He shot 0% from the three. He only attempted 1 3. He got you 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 1 block in the game for 16 points. They had other players that played in the game. I don't think their other rookie. I don't think the rookie that they picked, they drafted at the higher pick, I don't think he played. At least I'm not seeing him here in the box score. No, Dalton Knecht. He did play. So Dalton Knecht finished that game 7 of 13 from the floor, 2 of 7 from the three. He got 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. He did have 5 turnovers, but he has 16 points. So he was published nowhere on the internet, but Bronny James was. Now, there are going to be some people in the comments saying, you're hating on LeBron's son. Why are you picking on his son? And I think those people, I think it's high time that you guys need to grow the hell up. You guys need to pull up your skirt and stop acting like sissies. Seriously. I can understand if Bronny was in high school. I can understand to a certain degree if he was in college. But now Bronny's a pro. So all of the bozo activities you need to stop. He is actually a professional NBA player. A lot of you guys were twerking for it and saying he deserves to be there. Well, now he's there. So now we're going to talk about Bronny the way we talk about Ben Simmons, the way we talk about everybody else. And if Bronny's going to be getting all of this hype and praise, and there's no production to match all of the hype and praise, people are going to call it out. And I think you guys need to relax, because a lot of these defenders are going to get all up in their feelings. Oh, you're attacking. Nobody's attacking anybody. If any other NBA player plays like trash, they're going to call it out. And Bronny's no exemption. I know you guys love elitism and feel like elites are off limits. We can talk about all the other kids that didn't come from billion-dollar families. They're a fair game. But whenever we're talking about the face of the NBA son, we need to dial it back a bit, or we're hating. So when people critique all the other NBA players, when we're critiquing all-stars and all of those top-tier players, we're hating on them too. I think the bozo activities need to stop. Bronny is not a little child. He's a young adult, and he's old enough to play in the NBA, and he's getting millions to do so. So I think it is 100% inbounds to point out games where he doesn't play well. Now, let's get to Bronny's production. First of all, I want to get back to where we started a few months ago. Bronny's going to receive a lot of criticism. And the number one people I blame for the group of people I blame for this are LeBron James for heaping all of that hype and praise on him. Number two, I blame the media for constantly, you see, we had this long conversation over the summer. Why are they putting so much pressure? Who is the they? Who is the they specifically? Can we put some names on it? You mean his father? You mean companies like ESPN, Bleacher Report that plastered him all over the internet when he had a game where he only scored how many points in that game? Bronny scored 2 points in that basketball game. 2 points. 2 points in the basketball game, had 1 rebound, 1 assist. They had a chase down block, and you guys are plastering that all over the internet. You didn't post 1 image of Dalton Connect, who's actually the higher draft pick. You didn't post him there. You want to post Bronny because you know it's going to bring a lot of clicks and it's going to bring a lot of entertainment and money, and people are going to buy jerseys and all of that. So if that's what you're going to do, you got to deal with the pros and the cons. It's a double-edged sword. You can't just have it your way. Because there are going to be a lot of people like, well, wait a minute, what's going on here? Just like some people at one point were getting fed up with Deion Sanders. Initially, when the Colorado Buffaloes were winning, everybody was excited. But after a while, when they're like, well, they're not doing anything, I'm talking about last season, then they're like, okay, we need to move on to the next subject. Why are we still praising him? So I think it is fair game. Bronny didn't play well. It was a horrible game. Now, is it the first time that a 55th pick has had a horrible game? No. It is absolutely not the first time. But all those other 55th picks were not being plastered all over Sports Center and ESPN and Bleacher Report. They were not being shoved down the throats of NBA fans. So that was a different thing. But now you guys want to promote him like as if he's an all-star. And I see some of the LeBron fans comment. LeBron fans are just LeBron fans. It's like a healthcare plan. It's like a family package. Man, they just cover everybody. They pour the honey all over it. They like the honey poureth all over LeBron James and they poureth all over his family. They pour the honey on everybody. Now, if you talk about LeBron James' son, you're not a good dad. That's the line Gilbert Arenas did. If you talk about Bronny James, now you're a jealous dad. So all the other players we're talking about in the NBA, we're not jealous dads. We're just people calling it like we see it. But now all of a sudden, when we talk about Bronny, we're jealous men. This is what it's come down to. And you're going to have some LeBron fans, not all of them, some of them twerking it up all over the comment section, knocking over drinks, pouring honey all over the desk, just basically hollering and screaming. The minute one of us goes out here and says, oh, you're hating on a black man's child. You're hating on a black man. Meanwhile, those would be the same dudes. Fire Darvin Ham's black ass. Fire Darvin Ham. KD's a scrub. Kyrie is horrible. Kawhi Leonard is always injured. Jordan is a bum. Kobe ain't nothing. All those other black dudes, they not black men. The minute we get to LeBron James, now LeBron fans want to pull out the black card on black men. And there's going to be a lot of this. The fact of the matter is he did not play well, or he didn't play well enough to be plastered all over social media. That's my take on it. And if this is what they're going to be doing all season long, and the production doesn't match the praise, I think it's 100% within the bounds for people to call it out. This is an interesting one, right? And it has to do, again, with Shannon Sharp and Cameron and Mace. Now, as you guys know, Shannon Sharp went viral a few weeks ago for him mistakenly posting a video, and we all know what happened, right? Some people thought it was real, but there were definitely some people out there that definitely thought it was staged. And one of those people that thought it was staged was Cam and Mace, especially Cameron. Cameron basically said that there's no possible way you could have gone live by mistake, given all of the separate steps you needed to take, right? So he said that about Shannon, and I think Shannon Sharp responded, not just to Cam, but other people, like, all these people talking about me, I'm above them, and all of this and all of that and all of this, right? So we get that. So what happened? This morning, I was just going through the internet on YouTube, and I saw a video that was centered on Cameron, and Shannon Sharp, and I'm like, oh God, what happened now? So I start to follow the story, and essentially here's what happened. Cam and Mace call out Shannon Sharp because Shannon Sharp apparently got fed up with people saying pause for everything. Pause for everything. Now, as somebody that grew up in New York, went to school in New York, grew up in the Bronx, grew up in Yonkers, went to art and design, PS 37 and all of that. I was there when Dipset was taking off and all of that with Rockefeller and Dame Dash. And if you remember anything about that moment, you will know that pause was used a lot, to the point where it's like, yo, anything you say, somebody be like, yo, pause. Like so, yo, it's pause. You're like, yo, pause. After a while, you're like, yo, son, like, come on. And I think at one point, Jada Kiss or somebody from the Locks was like, real men don't have to say pause or something like that. But I know it from growing up. Like, there were some people that overuse it. And to this day, Damon Dash is somebody that uses pause a lot, right? But Cam uses it more than Mace. So that's kind of the backstory of this word pause. So essentially what happened was Cam called out Shannon Sharpe for being upset with people saying pause, when in fact he himself used the word pause. So this is a pretty funny back and forth. So what I want to do now is I want to play a short clip, like a 30-second clip of Shannon Sharpe originally using the word pause. Okay, so I want to play that for you now, so take a listen to that there.
Played basketball professionally instead of football. And Ocho, what if you played soccer professionally instead of football?
Now we talking.
I always wanted to be big, though. Having muscles is not conducive for playing basketball.
Right. Ben Wallace.
I mean, Ben was big, but Ocho, I mean,
Dwight Howard.
They not benching what I was benching, Ocho. I mean, I was squatting damn near 600 pounds, benching almost 500 pounds.
Well, you were benching 500?
Damn near like 475, 480. But I was only like 225, 230.
I was right up under you.
Now pause that, Ocho. No Diddy, man. Come on, man. Come on, Ocho, man.
I'm talking about the amount of weight I could lift.
Yeah, I'm saying that. That ain't what you said, though.
You know, I know how they play. My bad.
So you heard Shannon Sharpe use the word pause, right? Then recently, I think he was doing a live stream or something with Chad Johnson, and people started using pause or something like that. And then Shannon Sharpe got annoyed and started going off on people who use this term too much. So take a listen to Shannon Sharpe going off on people like that.
I said, all this stuff and pause. I said, bro, I'm going to talk. I said, I'm going to talk because people that understand, that's my age, we ain't got time for the playing them guys. Pause. Man, shut up. When we talk about hit the hole, we talk about the A gap. We talk about, they ran the ball down his throat. Pause on. Man, get out of here with that. That's your problem. Everybody saying pause. Bro, y'all grown. Yeah. And y'all want to play kids game.
So you heard him there, right? He was pretty annoyed by it. Fantastic. So Cam got a whiff of this, and then he went to the Instagram page and he posted this. Let me show it to you. He says, "Hey, Unc, you know we keeping receipts, right? But the first time, but the first thing we want you to do is look up the word contradict. This further let us know that bleep you pulled a couple of weeks ago was bull. You know what? Just so you can go viral. And Acho is crazy you co-signing and laughing when he told you pause. But we get it. We got everybody saying pause. Even you, Mr. Everybody grown. But yeah, it is what it is. Nobody is safe. We say what the F we want. We the new source. Swipe left. So that's what Cam had to say. What are my thoughts on this? This ain't got nothing to do about nothing. Right, I think Cam saw an opportunity to, kind of take a dig at Shannon Sharpe, and he did that, which is totally fine with me. It's inbound. I have no issue with it. With the word pause, as I said, we all knew it, especially it's a New York thing, right? So to me, at a certain point, it started to get annoying, right? Because it's like every 5 or 6 words you say is like, oh, pause. Pause. And after a while, it's like, yo, son, we can't even talk without using the word pause, right? So there are people out there that definitely overuse it. And I'm sure that some people that probably is not used to that lingo be like, yo, what's going on? We're just speaking, like we're just talking. Like, why is everything a pause moment and all of that? But what's interesting is that Shannon Sharpe used the word pause. We played the audio for you. So you heard him kind of using it and applying it there. So for him to kind of get upset with people using it on him is a bit strange. And probably what I think that Shannon used it because maybe he came across it or he heard it or he thought, okay, this is a cool moment to use this word because I'm going to sound fly or whatever it is. But then I think he was done with it in that moment because prior to hearing this clip, I never knew Shannon Sharpe used the word pause, ever, when having a conversation. I never knew that. So I think that it was probably like a one-time thing. I don't think it was something that Shannon uses all the time, because if it was something that he uses all the time, I don't see why he would be having that reaction when somebody else used it on him. In terms of him saying we grown and all of that, well, you and Chad Johnson are grown and y'all both was having that conversation. So what, weren't you guys grown in that moment there? So how all of a sudden now you grown? So look, man, to me, I think this has much to do about nothing. I just think it's just both of these guys found an opportunity to crack some jokes on one another. And they, you know, especially Cam, he took the opportunity. I just want to say this from the onset. The person that inspired me to do this show today was none other than Too Raw for Sports. I saw a video of his that was published 30 minutes ago. Obviously, it'll be much later, by the time you guys see the show. And he was reacting to what happened with the Lakers in their preseason debut. And his intro was hilarious. He's like, I've been waiting. I've been waiting. Right? He's been waiting for you guys. He's basically, he was basically saying that he's waiting to see if these Laker fans and these people that are so concerned with how the Lakers are going to do are going to keep the same energy with JJ Redick the way they did Darvin Ham. But let's talk about JJ Redick for a good second here. Why does JJ Redick turn so many people off? JJ turns a lot of people off because he comes off as being extremely arrogant. He comes off as a know-it-all. And in different moments and occasions, he can be flat out rude. Okay, we saw an example of this just 2 days ago or a day ago when we produced the show, reacting to some rude comments that he made to a reporter who was just asking some questions. I want to quickly read what I read before. This is from a Fadeaway World article. It says, JJ Redick calls out reporter for trying to create a narrative around Rui Hachimura. JJ Redick wasn't going to tolerate a reporter who tried to egg him on into creating a narrative about Rui Hachimura. When said reporter asked him about what's the next steps Rui needed to develop, Redick turned the question around onto the reporter before lambasting him and saying that he cares more about Rui's impact on winning rather than whatever next step the reporter was referring to. The reporter asked the question, do you think Rui could take the next step for you guys? JJ Redick, what is the next step? Reporter, you tell me. JJ, you tell me. You're creating the narrative. What is the next step? I don't care about the next step for Rui. I care about how he impacts winning on our team. And for me, that's the next step. And I think he can do that. We have to look for opportunities for him to use his skills, particularly as an ISO and post-up player. We have to be cognizant of what his shot profile looks like in terms of mid-range shots, the volume and percentage of shots he's taken from the mid-range. I think we've talked about with him. I think we've talked about with him. What we've continued to emphasize with him will have a high level of impact. Will have a high level of impact on what. So you heard what he said, right? The part I want to focus on was his interaction with the reporter. I said in the show when we talked about it, and I'm gonna say it again. JJ Redick is talking as if he's Greg Popovich. He's talking like as if he has won a championship or won multiple championships as a head coach. If you didn't know JJ Redick's resume, you would think this guy was like a Hall of Fame coach. JJ Redick, as I'm sitting here talking to you right now, hasn't won a single game in the NBA. But he's coming off with, being combative with reporters and all that. And I said in that show, that is going to be a recipe for disaster. So what happened? Yesterday, the Lakers had their preseason debut against the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think it's clear to say that the Lakers did not play LeBron James and they did not play Anthony Davis. But they ended up losing 127-107. And in a press conference, as I was listening to JJ Redick, he sounded a lot more humble with his language and his tone. And I'm like, it's beginning to dawn on you that this thing is a lot harder than just talking your way to wins as an NBA coach. You actually got to go out there and do the work. And it's very easy to talk. But when they slap you with a big fat L across the face, that will bring your ass back down to earth rather quickly. And we want to get into a little bit of what he had to say to the reporter. So what we want to do now is want to play exactly what JJ Redick had to say to the reporter, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to JJ here.
First, from a team standpoint, what were the things that stood out to you the most in the opener tonight?
There's a lot that stood out. I think if you just look at the game in its entirety, we got destroyed in the possession battle, turnovers, and offensive rebounds. I think they took 15 more shots than us. In some ways, that's the game right there. Their physicality, and look, we had a little bit of a deficit. They're a big team. They have big defenders. Garza's he's a monster. Tonight, with how we opted to do the rotations in the first half, we oftentimes had a small on him, and he really hurt us. Having said that, I think there was a lot of good stuff that we did. I told our guys before the game, 3 things I'm going to judge you on and how we are going to measure this game. Our organization, our talk, and our level of compete. And I thought the third one, we had that at a really high level. The other 2, we got to get better. I think schematically, defensively, we can do some things better. This was not a game plan game for us. So there was some stuff that, frankly, in 3 days of practice in a walkthrough shoot around, you're just not going to be able to cover. But overall, I think our guys played with the right intent. I thought offensively, we really moved the basketball well at times, and we got off to a slow start there. And sometimes that can hurt your defense. But there's a lot of good things we can take away from this game.
So you heard what JJ Redick had to say. What are my thoughts on this? JJ sounded very, very humble in that soundbite. He sounded very humble. I think JJ Redick, if he keeps it up at this current pace, with the way he is reacting to reporters and this kind of know-it-all attitude, I think he's going to be in for a very rude awakening. Because if you get into this combative thing of, you're trying to create narratives and all of that, that may work with some local reporters. That is not going to work with the national media. No matter how many tentacles Clutch Sports has in the sports media industry, at a certain point, people are going to start calling it like they see it. JJ better hope they come out of the gate winning games, because if they start losing, I'm going to tell y'all right now, if you think what Darvin Ham went through in terms of a season was bad, you guys ain't seen nothing yet. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Let me break down the demographics of the Laker fan base. You have Laker fans that are Laker fans through and through, like real Laker fans. And then you have a section of these fans who are LeBron fans. And these LeBron fans are happy whenever LeBron James succeeds. And they're happy when they see Bronny execute a chase down block. They're happy about things like that. The real Laker fans, they could care less. Bronny having a highlight of a turnover that led to a block means nothing to a real Laker fan. And you're going to see a serious fracture in the fan base this season if all of this talking and bloviating and acting like you know it all doesn't amount to actual W. It is going to happen. And those of us here are going to be calling it out. We're going to call it out the same way we called it out with Darvin Ham. I'm going to be looking for you dudes. I'm going to be looking for YouTube content creators, those Laker-centric creators, those Laker fan creators. You guys are Laker fans. I'm going to be looking for your videos the minute the Lakers lose a game with JJ Redick's face on the image, the way every second the Lakers lost, you ran up there and put Darvin Ham's image up there. I'm going to be waiting for you dudes. And I'm going to tell you what else is going to happen. The person is going to walk away from this entire thing unscathed. If this thing goes to hell, is going to be LeBron James. If you think LeBron is going to step in front of the bullets for JJ Redick. It will never, ever happen. Ever. I think as far as defending, the furthest LeBron is going to go, it would be probably to defend Bronny. And I don't think he'll need to defend him that much because I don't think Bronny's going to be playing that much. Anybody watching Bronny and thinking you're seeing something exceptional, you are smoking something hot. You got honey cascading down your back. You've been doing some serious. What are y'all talking about? Bronny now is a pro. Y'all need to stop capping. I was reading some posts like about an hour ago, some stuff that LeBron. Yo, if you guys know what LeBron fans have been saying over that chase down block, you some of y'all don't know. LeBron fans, some of them are, these guys are like extremists. There were some of them saying LeBron James, just like daddy, just like son. I know I've seen that before. That's LeBron's James, blocked by a James. I'm like, yo, are y'all even serious right now? Y'all are all up in Twitter, twerking it up all over the comment section, pouring honey all over the table over a player that went 1 of 6 from the floor in that game yesterday, and he finished with a grand total in 16 minutes of 2 points. And y'all all up in the comment section. You got these LeBron fans talking about they can definitely see Bronny becoming rookie of the year. These guys, y'all it's gonna be a very, very long season. And if JJ keeps talking this big talk of player profile and shooting metrics and all of this other big grammar that he wants to use to impress, I don't know who he's trying to impress with all of that beautiful grammar. But if that doesn't amount to wins, he is going to get flame broiled by the media and fans. It's going to be brutal. And the people that are playing into this is the media. Because y'all have been hyping up, JJ Redick is like the next Pat Riley. All righty then now. All righty. In order for this experiment to be successful, in my personal view, the Lakers need to go at least to the NBA Finals or the Western Conference Finals. Some of y'all like, but that's unreasonable. Well, that's what the former coach did. Darvin Ham coached this team to the NBA Western Conference Finals. And as he was the coach, they made the playoffs 2 consecutive years. If they're not even able to replicate that, I don't know how we cannot call this a total disaster. I don't know how we can call it. JJ needs to be a little bit more humble. You need to be a little bit more humble. Because last time I checked, this is the first time he's coaching at an NBA coaching level. It's not about whether or not you believe you deserve to be there. No. You gain respect with results, not by running your mouth. People respect you based off of the results, not by how big, how bad of a game you can talk. Oh man, we all know that person, man. I'm gonna hit it big. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. It's like, yo, bro, shut your ass up. Let's see you actually do something before you run up on us and start screaming and hollering about what you're gonna do. That's what JJ sounds like. The fact of the matter is, we don't need to give JJ Redick any respect because he has no track record to warrant anybody respecting him. That's the reality of life. I don't know why it's different all of a sudden when we're dealing with JJ Redick, why we need to put in special provisions on how we critique and evaluate JJ Redick. Same thing goes with Bronny James. Bronny right now is looking like ass so far in the preseason, the summer league and all of that. He ain't looking like, and Dalton Connect played way better. We would never know because nobody's talking about him. We going to keep it a buck. The same way we keep it a buck with Ben Simmons and all of that. We're going to keep. And for those LeBron, you see, that's why you got to think before you talk. You're saying Bronny going to be all of that. He could be rookie of the year. Okay, we're going to critique him like that then. And stop acting like as if Bronny James is above criticism. He's an NBA player. I know you guys love LeBron. I'm sure. I know. We know. But he's an NBA player. And he can get it the same way any other player gets it in terms of criticism. No one is above it. Certainly not a rookie.